Sadguru Maharaj ki Jai. With the immense blessings of our beloved Guru Maharaj, Maharanyam Sri Sri Muralidhara Swamiji, and by the causeless mercy of Sri Madhuri Sakhi Sameta Premika Varda Thakurji, we are exploring the slokas of Bhagavatamritam and the first Upadesam of our Kapila Vasudeva Bhagavan to his own dear mother, Devahuti Devi. And Kapila Vasudeva Bhagavan is the very embodiment of Jnana. And hence he revealed Sankhya Yoga. Sankhya also means Jnana, apart from count. Sankhya means Jnana. That's why even in Bhagavad Gita, we call it Sankhya Yoga, when Bhagavan reveals the path of Jnana Yoga. And the same initial instructions of Kapila Vasudeva Bhagavan has very beautifully summarized by Sri Narayana Bhattadri as Matirika Gunasakta Bandha Krityeshu Asakta Tu Amrita Krudu Parundhe Bhakti Yogastu Saktim Mahad Anugama Labhya Bhakti Revatra Sadhya Kapila Tanuriti Tvam Devahutyai Nyagadihi. Very short and sweet condensation of all these 16 slokas in just 4 lines. That's the beauty of Narayaniam, isn't it? So, our Bhattadri summarizes the initial introduction of our Kapila Vasudeva Bhagavan, that the final end of life, the final end to beatitude is finally yoga only, Bhakti Yoga. And Bhakti Yoga, where the mind is completely offered to Bhagavan and it transcends sense of I and my. And he says it has to happen in the, how do I know that I'm in the right path, is as the mind keeps less and less impacted by the dualities of life, joy and sorrow. That is a clear sign of progress in spirituality, you see. So many people ask us during the satsang, what is the sign of my progress in my path? Seen from our Kapila Vasudeva Bhagavan's view, practically speaking, if joy and sorrow does not affect me as much as it used to affect me, that's a sure sign that I'm progressing in the path of yoga. Yoga includes it's an integral yoga. Bhakti, Jnanam, Vairagyam, all the three together, the path of Bhakti Yoga. How do I know I am progressing spiritually? Is when my impact, or when joy and sorrow, when the external events around me has lesser impact on my inner composture, then it shows that I'm progressing spiritually. That's why he's saying, Atyanto Atyanta Uparati. Atyanta Uparati is the final moksha. So obviously in the path, Uparati means total cessation, total stopping of being impacted or being affected by joy and sorrow. And the path's progress is measured in the same measure. That as I am less and less impacted by what happens around me, because I have given my mind to Bhagavan, then I am progressing in the path of Bhakti. And he is saying very beautifully, Matiriha Gunasakta Bandha Krityeshu Asakta. That it is the mind which is the cause for bondage, it is the mind which is the cause for liberation, because that is the only tool we have to progress towards spirituality. To make it very simple, to put it in contemporary language, because we are very clear on the traditional side of it. There are three, how do I say, avastha we all have. The avastha of doing, the avastha of thinking, and the avastha of being. So, religion is not just in doing. Religion progresses from doing to thinking, and from thinking to the state of being. In that state of being, Atyanta uparatihi yatra dukkasya cha sukasya cha is the state of being. And the bridge between doing, which is karma, and jnana, which is being, is thinking and putting our thought on to Bhagavan or Bhagavat Vishayam. And that is what is called bhakti sadhana. Just doing without the mind getting involved in it is only the starting stage. So here, from doing, we have to progress to thinking, which is smarana of Bhagavan. And that will lead us by Guru Kripa to the state of being, which is tasya priyameva chiraha. That priyam or love or bhakti is the state of being. It is not state of thinking. It is not state of doing alone. And so how we all start our sadhana is by doing. That's why in the path of bhakti, we start with going to pilgrim places. Whether we feel that prema in our heart or not doesn't matter. We have to do. We have to start employing the external agents, which are our sense organs, to Bhagavan in form of listening, seeing, talking, etc. As we keep doing it, it goes to the next level, which is Chintanam, Bhagavad Chintanam. And once we do more and more Bhagavad Chintanam, how do I know I'm really doing more and more Bhagavad Chintanam is less and less I shall be bothered or impacted by the external small things which happens around me. Even if I am impacted on a genuine things which happen around me, that impact won't last long. That impact would be reduced and for a smaller time. And then the final state is the state of being, which is the state of love, which is the state of jnana, which is the state of joy. All that is complete cessation of being impacted by joy and sorrow. This is what is Sankhya Yoga, isn't it? So here he is saying, now the tool we have, which is closest to divinity, is mind, not the body. And so how do I somehow ensure that the mind is attached to divinity or abides in divinity is, if you want to be attached to a dharma, it is easy for us to be attached to a dharmi. When you say Brahman, 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 it is somewhere there. But when the Brahman comes in form of Bhagavan Sri Krishna, Brahman is in form of Bhagavan Sri Krishna. When he descends down, it is easy for us to do Brahma Chintanam as Krishna Chintanam. They are not different. Na? Similarly, it is easy for us to be attached to a value called truth if we can be attached to a person who always speaks the truth. Truth is dharma. The one who always lives by the dharma is called dharmi. And the easy way for us to be attached to dharma is to be attached to dharmi, isn't it? And that is the reason why our Kapila Vasudeva Bhagavan is saying, what is true for truth? If you are constantly in the company of people who lie, if you are constantly in the company of people who speak sarcastically, values like sarcasm and bad values, or rather non-essential values like lying, etc., we will catch it. Na? Why? Because mind catches something which it always associates with in form of the person who is embodying that value. That is the basic premise here. So the reverse is also true. If you are in dussangam, we are not just attached to dussangis. We are not just attached to people who are embodying evil character. We are actually getting attached to that character also. And that is the reason why the easiest way for us to get to bhakti, or if you ask my personal opinion based on whatever I heard from our beloved master, the only way to get attached to prema or bhakti of Bhagavan is to be attached to people who embody that bhakti. And that is the reason why, that is the basic premise where he is saying that mind is responsible for both bondage and emancipation, for both bandham and moksham. And if we are attached to the worldly objects, which are very tangible, mind need not be attached to any indirect things in the world. Worldly objects are tangible. Na? So the moment the mind is attached to the worldly objects, then immediately the mind also gets bound. But divinity, state of being, prema, jnana, all these are not tangible. So the mind can abide in prema, mind can abide in jnana, mind can abide in vairagya only when it is abiding in a person who is embodying these values as his own being. And for the world, we don't need it much. For the world, mind is naturally running towards the world for so many janmas. So the mere thought of the world itself binds the mind. But then, because prema and jnana and vairagya, etc., are very subtle state of being itself, it has to be attached to a person who embodies that state of being, which is in the same token, premam, asti bhati priya visena. At the same token, embodiment of love, embodiment of jnana, embodiment of vairagya. So, our Kapila Vasudeva Bhagavan very beautifully, very practically says that instead of mother, you trying all these things and you are fighting against millions and millions of janmas of vasanas on your own accord, conditioned by the mind which is used to worldly thoughts only. Now, do you see the amount of fight we have to do? The amount of resistance the mind would face because of its own accord of being attached as a habit to the worldly objects. So that's going to be an uphill task. The easier or the best way or the only way is mind is anyway prone to attachment. Mother, instead of getting attached to people who constantly talk about me and mine, Atma, Atmaja, Apta, Griha, Vitta, Janeshu, Saktai, Dushprapana. And that is the normal way of the world. So instead of getting attached to either the objects of the world or people who are constantly swirling in this samsara, if you somehow get attached to these Mahatmas and Sadhus, when I say Mahatma, people like realized souls, Satyanadana. So when you get attached to Sat Purushas, it becomes very easy for you. And the mind would naturally absorb all the qualities because of the kripa of the sadhu out there. And then that uphill task of fighting millions and millions of janmas accrued, vasanas, can be immediately burnt by association with the Mahatma Satsanga. And that's why our Kabir Das ji says the same thing. जप तप साधन कछु नहीं लागत खर्चत नहीं घटरी राम गोविंद हरि बजोरे भैया राम गोविंद हरि. So that amount jap tap sadhana kachu nahi lagat. Because I have gatarina, that which I have accumulated, my property of vasanas, which has been accumulated not in one lifetime, accumulated in crores of lifetimes, which will last for crores of lifetimes to come. That is the amount of property I have accumulated. My little japa, my little sadhana, my little tapa is not expending my gatari at all. And so the only refuge is somebody who can totally take me across samsara because of their own state of being in love with Bhagavan, being in the state of jnana, being in the state of vairagya. That is the greatness of sadhusanga. So he's saying that when we are attached to the world, love is not possible. Why love is not possible when we are attached to the world is attachment goes both ways. Attachment can go downwards, attachment can go upwards. So the mind cannot stay unattached. That is a very simple premise. We already told it many times. Mind has no neutral state. Either it has to abide in itself in darkness called sleep, or it has to hold on to the worldly objects in form of dreams or waking state. Only three states possible for the mind. Waking, Jakrit, Swapna, Sushupti. In Sushupti, by the grace of Bhagavan, it abides in its source. In Sushupti, actually speaking, in darkness, we are all sleeping in the lap of Krishna only. But then we don't realize we are with Krishna. It is the darkness there. And sleep is the closest state we come to Krishna. But unfortunately, sleep means time lost, spiritually speaking. Of course, we need sleep for rejuvenating ourselves, even to do bhakti better. But then mind can either abide in the self in darkness, which is what is the normal state of people who have not taken the spiritual path, or the mind can hold on to some object of the world. When the mind holds on to the object of the world in sleep, it's called dream. When the mind is holding on to the object of the world consciously or whatever, it's called a waking state. Now we need to beat all these three states now with the mind which does not have a neutral state. So here our Kapila Bhagavan is saying, now you have to somehow move the mind from the worldly objects to Bhagavan. And as I said, the mind can either hold on to the objects below or it can hold on to something above. Let me expand this further. Mind has to be attached to something. I hope it's clear now. And so, mind's natural tendency to be attached is towards objects which it thinks it controls or possesses or it is related to. And to give you a simple example, generally people are more attached to their own children, isn't it? The mother or father is attached to their own child. Why? Because it is my child. There is a mamakara involved in it. But imagine, a mother also has her mother and father. Na? Typically speaking, we find a person is attached more to their children than to their parents the moment they have a children. Because children are mine, but my parents, they hold me to be theirs. And instead of children being mine, I am theirs. You see? So let me give you some technical words here. I am the Swami of my children, and children are my swat. That in Sanskritam, swat means property. And where property means there is some association of this is mine. What makes it property? Now, actually, what is the connection between me and this place? Only the connection is the mind saying it is my house. That finally makes it my property. Because the ground has not been created by me. The house was not built by me. And the space, I don't actually own it. You see? But finally, it is the mind which says I own this. So finally, manandam karanam. So swat means that which I own. You see, Swami means I am the owner, for example. I am the owner of the property. Now, generally, the bondage or attachment is more between the Swami and the Swat. And the whole process of love is, that is, bhakti is reversing that flow of attachment downwards to actually love my Swami instead of my Swat. You get this now? Children are my property. I love them naturally. That no, even birds love. Na? Love towards the children, affection towards the children is prakriti vaichitriyam. Even birds, even ferocious animals, they have tremendous love towards their own offsprings. Why? Because it is my swat. So the love of a Swami to the swat is the downward love. The love of a swat towards its Swami is difficult. For that, we need to use a little bit of viveka. And that is the reason why I guess, just my thought, it is not Shastras. Our Veda Mata said, Matru Devo Bhava, Pitru Devo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava. The whole idea was everybody is Deva, everybody is Vasudeva. So instead of saying Sarvam Devo Bhava, Veda Mata says, anyway, your Putra and Putri will be your Deva only. They will be the one who decides what you do on your weekends, right? So they are the ones who hold control over us. So that which is mine, to treat them like God is natural. But that is what is called attachment. If this attachment is done upwards, Veda Mata says, look upon your mother as Deva, look upon your father as Deva, because moving the flow of attachment from downwards to upwards, moving the flow of attachment to Swat, which is mine, to that to whom I am his. I am Krishna's Swatana. So the Swat trying to love the Swami, the same attachment has to be reversed. And that is why this 180-degree reversal in attachment is going to be little difficult. And that is the reason why our Kapila Vasudeva Bhagavan says that Mahad Anugama Labhya. If we can somehow follow, or follow not physically, when the mind goes behind the Mahatmas, Anugamam then, Gamam na go, Anugamam na behind, go behind. If the mind is going towards Mahatmas, the same attachment differs in quality. And this is a similar pattern. Once we understand this, rest of Sankhya Yoga is a breeze. Narada Maharshi is telling Vyasa Bhagavan, the same karma which binds us, if we can somehow make it as Krishnarpanam, Krishna Prithirtham karma serves as a door for liberation, isn't it? And Amayo Yascha Bhutana, he uses the same example. Some interpret this as vaccine, that the same microbes which cause a disease, if it is treated outside and administered again in the body, serves to prevent that very disease which it causes. Why? You did a little treatment. And the same ghee which can create a disease in the body, if it is treated and Ayurvedically again administered, serves to cure the disease. So same karma can bind us, and same karma, if it is Krishnarpanam, can free us. So we don't have to look around for other things. We don't have to basically torment our mind. That's why Matrayinang Kamangal Matrelo, that attachment, that desires I have towards the world, Krishna, turn it towards you, turn it yours, your sadhu as an extension. You see? And so here, our Kapila Vasudeva Bhagavan is telling something very beautiful, something very subtle in a few slokas, and he's just going, because that is the greatness of the speaker, that is the greatness of the listener. Devahuti Mata is also a great tapasvi we saw last time. No? So here, our Kapila Vasudeva Bhagavan says, Satsangam. Nothing can come close to Satsanga. Satsangam na sangam with a Sat Purusha, who lives love, who lives jnanam, who lives vairagya. Sat Purusha. So here, that's why he's saying, easiest way for you, Bhagavan, nothing can come close to the power of Satsanga. And Satsanga, if we somehow get attached to that, then automatically mind loses its attachment to the world. Obviously, mind is limited. Mind has a limited time. It has limited focus. The moment mind turns this way, obviously it's not turning that way now. Yes, you either walk towards north. If you walk towards north, you leave south. If you walk towards south, we leave north. So here, when the mind goes towards a Mahatma, and hence towards Krishna, and hence towards Bhakti, Jnana, Vairagya, obviously it is eschewing, it is leaving behind worldliness. So instead of asking the mind, leave it, let go of worldliness. It's all samsara. Instead say, go there. Always positivity is better. Instead of saying, don't go there. Better to instruct the mind, go there. So our Kapila Vasudeva Bhagavan has so much of rasaya and so much of depth in the simple word, saying the mind, when it is attached to Mahatmas, completely becomes transformed. And over time, because of two wonderful things which happens in the same token, not only am I walking towards the purpose of life, which is Jnana, Bhakti, Vairagya, I am also walking against the tide of the world effortlessly. So two things are happening. I'm getting double benefit. Not only am I avoiding the mind to add to his vasanas by not going towards Mahatmas and being in the world, I am also empowering the mind towards Bhakti, Jnana, Vairagya when I go towards Mahatmas. And Bhagavan, being Bhagavan, always says, I have an easy path for you. Why are you trying things which is not going to take you there easily? This is Bhagavan's view, you see. Whichever avatara, or Swayam Bhagavan Sri Krishna also is telling Uddhava Swami the same thing. No other sadhana can even come close to the amount of benefit and the amount of blessings and grace you get from satsanga. Satsanga will take you there. Other sadhanas I can't assure. That much he is saying. Even though the same Bhagavan is showing all the sadhanas, he is saying, I have shown you all the sadhanas, it is there. But satsanga will 100% take you there. And in fact, he is negating all other sadhanas in favor of satsanga to Uddhava Swami. In Ekadasa Skanda, Bhagavan is saying, Na arodayati mam yogo, na sankyam dharma yevacha, na swadhyayas tapastyago, neshta purtam na dakshina, vratani yajna chandamsi, tirtani niyama yama, yatha varundhe satsangaha sarva sangapahohima. In the Bhagavatam is saying, satsanga will take you there. But I don't think I am pleased. He is saying that. Remember this. Na rodayati na, he is not pleased in artham. And twice he is saying, na rodayati yata avarunde. Both means the same thing. Nothing pleases me more than when my children, which is us, gravitate towards satsanga. These things don't please me. You may do yoga. You may do atma vichara. You may do dharma. You may do swadhyaya. You may do tapas. You may do tyaga. You may do lot of havans. You may do lot of charity. You may give lot of dakshina. Vratam. Vaita kati poten. And vadamba kati poten. Indriyangala kati poten. All that. Vratam. Yajnahana. Aradhanam panne. Chandamsi. Tirthani. Niyama. Yama. Even go to tirthana. So what? Do yama. How stronger he is speaking. He is saying, the amount of joy I get when satsangaha sarvasanga pahohima yathavarunde. The amount of satisfaction I get when you do this, the amount of love I have towards you, the amount of preeti I have towards you when you go to a satsang is not even close to all the others which are all discarded there. Na? Please understand this. Bhagavan is not saying don't do yoga. Bhagavan is not saying don't do Sankhya. Bhagavan is not saying don't do Swadhyaya. This is Nahininda Nyayam. You have to take it properly, understand. That's why we need commentaries. What it really means is, we must have done yoga a lot in the past. We must have done Jnana Vichara in the past, Dharma in the past, Swadhyaya, Tapas, Tyago, Ishta, Purtam, all that we must have done. Adoda Phalan, Adoda fruit is Bhagavan Preeti and then opening the doors of Satsang. This is what it means. When Bhagavan says that Swadhyaya, Tapa won't work, only Bhakti works, na? Without Bhakti, whether we do penance, whether we do dhana, whether we do tapas, etc., would be like tapas of Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu did tapas, nobody can deny it. But he didn't have bhakti, so the tapas was not complete. Without bhakti, all this is not complete. If you have bhakti, you don't have to turn to all these things. But you actually had bhakti because with the right intention, you did all these things in the past. So these are not negated. So we have to carefully see it. Here the beauty, adudha satsangam. Bhagavan Krishna is telling Uddhava Swami that satsangam is phalarupam. Don't think it is a sadhana. Phalam. Phalam. Our Swamiji loves a lovely kirtan of Sri Sri Anna. In that he says, suppose we somehow have pleased Bhagavan and Bhagavan is about to come before you. Our Swamiji says, I will tell you a small little secret. Because Bhagavan will come and ask, what varam do you want? What boon do you want? Generally, Bhagavan will just come and then disappear immediately. And you can't say, like, give me 5 boons and all that. He will say, 1 boon nangepa. But then you have the rest of your life in the world to be taken care. And you also have param to go after this body is dropped. So you need to ask 1 boon which will cover both these needs of yours. So what is there a boon like that, which covers not only param and also iham? Yeah, Swamiji says there is a lovely way to ask that boon. Satsanga dehi dehi, dusra varna ki nahi. Ask Bhagavan for satsanga dehi dehi. And Bhagavan would be very pleased because satsangena hi yata varunde satsanga. Bhagavan says, wow, you asked for something which pleased me. Do you want any other boon? Dusuravar Vandave. The second varam will become dangerous, you see. Our Swamiji often says, when you are in the sannidhi of a Mahatma, be careful not to pray for any laukika stuff for a simple reason, because it will come to pass. Whether you want or not later doesn't matter. If you pray before a Mahatma, it will come to pass. And if not for this Janma, in some other Janma, you have to come back to fulfill that want which you prayed before a Jnani. You know, that is the danger of praying before Jnana. So best way for us to be covered all these things, Satsanga Maza. This is what Prahalada wanted. This is what our Dhruva Swami wanted. This is what everybody wanted. This is what everybody, including Nalagubra, Managriva, after seeing Bhagavan, give me satsang all the time. Because Bhagavad Darshana is easy, satsang is rare. So he is saying, Bhagavan says, if you want to ask anything, ask satsang. Mahatma udiya sangam. After that, number ability, all that is gone. After that, it is the kripa which takes us forward. You just have to cooperate. And that's why he says, Iha parasadana dusura nahi. Iha parasadana, no need for anything else. That current of the kripa in form of satsanga will take us there, you see. And that is the greatness of satsanga. Yatha varunde satsangaha sarvasanga pahohimam. Sarvasangam. All other attachments are gobbled, burnt by the sangha we have with the Mahatma. It is not easy to get it. Mahabhagya vasatnala satsanga. You see. That's why Parameshwara, Mummy Urla Karana, saying that I don't equate Shanardamapi Satsangam to Punarbhavam also, even to Apunarbhavam, even to the greatest Kaivalyam, I don't equate Shanardhenapi Natulaye Satsangam. I won't equate Satsangam of half a second with a Mahatma to all these great things of ruling over the world, or even Apurnarbhavam, because Bhagavat Sangi Sangasya Martyanam Kimuta Asishaha. What else can a person who is a Martya ever aspire for but Satsangam? See, that is the greatness of Mahatma's Sangam. Satsangam na adanartham. And then, after telling this, he's saying that for all the people who are real seekers, there is no other blissful path towards Bhagavan. Na yujyamanaya bhaktya bhagavati akilatmani sadrisho asti shivah panta yoginam brahma siddhaye. For the blissful Raja Margam, the Shivah Panta da Chakani Raja Margamun Padra. That royal road of Krishna Bhakti Samrajya. That is the most joyful, blissful, purest path towards Bhagavan. Nothing can come close to that. And he says that the attachment to the world, even though the attachment is really, really hard, attachment to the world will bind us for infinite births in future. And an attachment when you have for a Bhagavan sadhu, mokshadvaram apavritam. The mokshadvara is open. And now when we say sadhu, sadhu, sadhuna, we should know who that sadhu is. And this also serves as a lovely prologue to what that sadhu kripa will make us one day. What the sadhu is, he would make us like him one day. Our Adi Shankara Bhagavatpada in Viveka Chudamani and in Prabodha Sudhakara and the Grantha Lexus says that generally people equate a guru to a sparshaka, which philosopher's stone. If it touches something, it becomes gold. Even if it is a rusting iron rod, If a philosopher's stone touches it, immediately it becomes gold. Likewise, the sadhus are like that philosopher's stone. Sparshakal. Parasmani they say. Sparshakal. The moment they touch any even undeserved jiva, they become gold. And our Bhagavan tells Uddhava Swami, Satsange nahi daiteya yatu dhana mrigha kagaha gandharva apsaraso nagaha siddhascharana guhyakaha. Did these satsang, these types of people, whether they are daiteya, yatudana, even kirata, huna, andhra, pulkasa, anybody even beyond the pale of Sanatana Dharma society have been made into gold by the touch of tadashraya, tadupashraya. When Mahatma, who is completely taken refuge in Krishna Charana, touches these people who have no samskara, like Shabari, like Jatayu, like Vibhishana, everybody has become gold, isn't it? So Adi Shankara Bhagavad-pada says, generally people say, such Mahatmas, such Purushas are like philosopher's stone. If anything comes in contact with them, it becomes gold. But then he thinks a little and says, even then, it is not complete. It seems these Mahatmas, when they touch even undeserving souls, they themselves becomes philosopher's stones, it seems. Because a iron converted into gold, when it touches another iron, may not convert that into gold. But these Mahatmas have the power and strength to convert even a rod of iron to another philosopher's stone. Whether they do it or not is in their hands. But they have the capability. Such is the greatness of sadhus. And that is the reason why our Kapila Bhagavan talks to his mother about the importance of satsanga. Indirectly, what he's telling the mother is, now that you got a satsanga, now that you are truly attached to me as your son, even that is enough for you, because you are attached to an object. In whatever way you are attached to the, when you say object, entity is a better word, that can actually transform you. He is assuring his mother. How can he directly tell? He won't. But he's telling, if you have that satsanga, the door of liberation is open for you. Don't worry. And how will these sadhus be? He says, Titikshavaha. Titikshavaha. They are very forbearing. Because if they are not forbearing, we all, when we approach a sadhu, what will we do? We'll do only apacharamna. What do we know? We don't understand their greatness. Technically speaking, sadhus are like fire. Mahatmas, realized Mahatmas are like fire. If we are too far away from them, we can't get the warmth. If we go and play with them, we'll get burnt. And so we have to carefully emote with them and carefully palaganonu sollirukku. But that is for a normal Mahatma. But for these great Mahatmas who are all, who are all the embodiment of love also, they would ensure that even if we do excesses, they'll ensure that we don't face the adverse consequences. Why? Titikshavaha karunikaha. A Mahatma can somehow, when we do excesses and we do apachara to him, he can forbear, but there is something called Daivam. It will not forbear all this. So what happens when somebody does apachara to a Mahatma is karunikaha. So the moment they say it's an apachara, immediately they pray saying, these are children, they don't know what they are doing. Krishna, they have kept that Daivam. I am not making it up. Bhagavan is abiding by what sadhus say. Why? Not because of any other way. Satstriya satpatir yata, Bhagavan says na. Sadhus are like patni only for Bhagavan. Patni na, completely they abide by what Bhagavan does. They love him unconditionally. That very love beholdens Bhagavan to be under their sway. You see, they don't want to Bhagavan, they don't want to control anything at all. They want to choicelessly surrender. But because of their love, Bhagavan is speaking his heart out, supreme secret to Durvasa Muni. And he's saying that I am not independent. Asvatantra ivadvaja. That sadhus have completely controlled me. Not by their power, but their totally purest of all love towards me. Sadhus hold me in their sway. And so, titikshavaha karunikaha. Karunikaha, compassion. They know only compassion. So even it is better to err on the positive side with them, you see, instead of being afraid of because titikshavaha karunikaha sugrudaha. They would be very friendly only, and they would be very compassionate, and they will be very forbearing, because Bhagavan is using them to somehow take all the people to his feet through them only. And our Swamiji used to say, sadhus are Bhagavan's hands. When you want to pick something and even keep it on your head or on your feet, you need the hand to pick and keep. Sadhus are the hastam of Bhagavan to pick all the souls and put in his own feet. So sadhus don't have their own agenda. Sadhus merely work out what Bhagavan plans. Their Hridayam, it is only Bhagavan working through them. So here, Titik Shavaha, very forbearing. Imagine Nityananda Prabhu, Ardhana Sadhu. When Jagai and Madai, they actually even assaulted him physically. Word assault, okay, physically assaulted. And they threw a pot on him, Nityananda Prabhu, our Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's, what do I say, eternal consort, eternal brother. When it was hit him, when it hit him and blood was flowing around his, from the top of his head to his whole body, tears of compassion were also flowing, you see. And he looked at both of them and said, these two needs to certainly be under the feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he was praying for them. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard it, Bhagavan need not be Titikshavaala irundanna appuram seripada. You see, Bhagavan has to be Paritranaya sadhu vinashaya cha dushkrutam varanam. He should come and he has both anugraham and nigraham together. Only then it is Bhagavan. But when the same Bhagavan comes as a sadhu, only anugraham. Yeah. Another sadhu sangha. They could have said, na Krishna sangam solala. Krishna Dasa Sangha. Bhagyam. Krishna Sangam kuda kadachidum. Krishna Dasa Sangam kadaikkada. Koti janma punya sadhana sadhyam Govinda Masa Mandalada. Govinda Dasa Mandaladasya. So here, our Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, instead of just, he forgot that he came down as a Karunika Acharya Purusha. Once he saw a sadhu apachara, even he could not Chugitar. Chakra Chakrandra. It has Mandutanga. At that point of time, our Nityananda Mahaprabhu, Titikshavaha, Karunikaha, Sugrutaha, Muno de Nityananda Prabhu. Sarvadegina. எவ்வளவு அழகா இருக்கு. இதுதான் நித்யானந்தம், இதுதான் சத்சங்கம். சர்வதேகினாம்னா, not only for people who are very conducive towards us, I am very friendly, I am very kripalu, I am very forbearing. Generally, the father, when the son talks harsh words, the father forbearing. அது பெரிய விஷயமா? It is your son, so there is a bond here. Even if somebody who hurts you outside, like this Jagai Madai hurt this Nityananda Prabhu, even to him, he didn't even have one single iota of condemnation in his heart. In fact, the opposite. The kripa for Jagai Madai became millionfold when he actually hurt him. So the first half of the sloka, Titikshavaha, when he hit Nityananda Prabhu, he forbore it. This is sadharana sadhu. But to have the karuna for a person who hit him, Karunikaha. And not only that, Sugrudaha. And the moment he looked at Jagai and Madai in his heart, he was not seeing, even though he did apachara to me, I need to be compassionate. He looked at him as he looked at the face of a friend, that face which actually hurled a shard of earthen pot which made his face bleed. And he's looking at his face and saying, Sugrutaha, my friend. Bandhu Tondra. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu held his feet and said, Prabhu, don't become Bhagavan. You remain as an Acharya Purusha and a Bhagavata. Remember, this is Kali. No Nigraham at all. They are not dushtas, they are brashtas. They are not wicked people, they are fallen people, poor people. Don't compassion. So boldly we can go to a Mahatma. Little excesses here and there. Titikshavaha. They will forbear. Not only that, they will also pray. When there is a clear apacharam seen, they will pray to Bhagavan. Karunikaha. And because of that, the relationship won't be dented at all. Suhrutaha. They will be even more friendly. Sarvadehina. The only thing is, we have to come under their purview. Na? They have love towards everybody. But for us to receive it, we have to be in their field. Na? So, Barsata, Sadguru Krupa, Adoda Nirtala. Piyo, Pyare, Mane, Nishidin, Sar, go and drink. Barsata, Ninindana, how can you get drenched? Go. Even if it is a little here and there, don't worry, because they are Titikshavaha. They can forbear. The fact that they are Mahatmas, I don't have to say Titikshava means they are equal to joy and sorrow, Sukam, Dukkam, Bhavam, Bhavam, Bhayam, Cha, Bhayam. Adalna anyway done. Titikshava is for me approaching them as a seeker. Titikshavaha. They are very forbearing. I have seen some people, because I was also like that maybe, but they say, Swamiji, how are you nowadays? Are you maintaining good health? And he will be smiling and said, he will also say, and what is this greatness of this person? But he won't even have an iota. When we point out, he said, what is there? You see, the natural state. Not, I am a Mahatma, they are doing apachara, chalo, I will, they will be the most normal, most sagajam, the most casual one of us. But when we go to their presence, something happens to us. We feel a little trepidation in the heart. We feel a little bit of, it's not because of their majesty, it is our ego shaking, it seems. Our Ramana Maharshi says, the moment you go to the presence of a guru, it is like an elephant which is sleeping, suddenly dreams of a lion in the dream, nightmare. It immediately, and the ego now knows that out of love, he is going to completely decimate me. So that ego gets a little shake when we go involuntarily to a Mahatma. But how is that Mahatma? Prasanna Vadanamboja. Kalaye Sundarakaranna. Titikshavaha. Forbearing. Karunikaha. They are all very, very compassionate. Compassionate now for people who need the grace. Their compassion fills the gap. When they see, they are all now suffering in samsara, and the moment you come before them, that is the kripa which will flow. And that is what is called karunikaha. And suhrudaha. Suhrada means very friendly. They look at, they don't ever think they are superior to people. And Adamal Patriketa. They never take a higher pedestal. Suhrata, friendly, as if they are equal, they will normally talk. In fact, a jnani, a Mahatma, a Prema Bhakta will be even more normal than our normal self. Namakuda apappo konjam apdi tala aval thukkave thukkas. Sarvadehina and Ajata Shatravaha. Solnumanne. They have no inimical feelings towards anybody. Why they have said that is inimical to not even adharma. You see, for them, the love of dharma transforms them. And they are not thinking, adharma is my enemy. Adharma is our enemy. The love for dharma eclipses adharma. When you light a lamp, darkness is eclipsed. It's a paradox. A light can only be eclipsed. Darkness eclipses. You see. Why the light is going all. So instead of cursing the darkness, they strike a lamp. You see. All they need to do is to show love, and love does all the right things for people to do it. Krishna has to do both. He has to use his both chakram and shankam. Shankam for jnanam, chakram for nasanam of dushtas. But here, Mahatmas, Ajata Shatravaha and Shantaha. Even when a stupid fellow starts berating them, nischala. எல்லாம் பார்த்தது சொல்றேன். Sadavaha sadhu bhushana. So for all these sadhus, the greatest bhushanam, ornament for them is all these. Why ornament? Na? They are in that state of Sat Chit Anandam. They are in that state of Krishna Prema. That is their Swarupam. And that Swarupam we can't see. Na? We can only see through the ornaments. When you have a very Ikshvaku Kala Perumal Yaran Irundarna, mostly you can see only ornaments. What will you see in Archavatar? You will see the crown, you will see the kavacham, you will see the bracelets, you will see the tinklets, you will see the vastram. Abharanam dana Bhagavan namakku. You see, Abharanam is Perumal for us. What else can we see? Like that, we can see only all this. But their prema, unless we complete the journey, we can't sing Alaga Bhushana. Because Bhushana, they don't need any Bhushanam. Na? It is the Bhushana which comes and attaches themselves to this. Nivasa Vriksha Sadhu Namna Ramachandra Prabhu is called. That he is the tree where all the sadhus come, and he is not calling them. They come and take refuge under the tree. Like that, he is the Ashrayam. Such a Mahatma is the refuge for all the good qualities to come and sit, so that it feels very happy that I am in touch with him. Nama solluvom la, and the periyavaroda na touch la irukken. That's name dropping becomes our honor. Na? So for a Mahatma, all these are not big thing for them. But for this Gunam, they feel very happy associated with him. Sadhu Bhushana. And there is a word for that in Bhagavatam, Bhushanam Bhushanangam. What it means is, when somebody just comes with a plain face, na paaka sahikas. So you have to put a little or kaadula or jimiki, alagana or idu potu netti chutti ellaam potu nice paakra mari irukum. So for them, Bhushanam adds beauty to their face. But for such sadhus, it adds beauty to the Bhushanam. You see. And the Bhushana, our kazhuthula pottadan sir nalla irukku solrom illaya. Some things silver pottunda alaga irukku. So now Bhushanam thinks, if I am adorning that person's neck, only I will get the honor. Adunala it goes and adorns in the neck of a person which adds value to the Bhushana. So in the qualities, all these qualities, Titikshava, Karunika, Sugruta, sir, all the qualities get their value only when they feel they come and take refuge under the feet of a Mahatma, Sadhu, Sat. And this is the Bhushana, right? So this is the Tatastham, if you understand what I'm saying. Now I'll tell you the Swarupam he is saying. Eppadi Janmadhya Sayatan Tatastham solittu Satyam Paramdi Mahin Swarupam sonna mari Bhagavanukku sonna mari dhan sadhukalukku sollu. First show Tatastham, then only Swarupam. Tatastham na, that which is incidental, that which is not intrinsic, that which is adorned. And it can be inseparable also, obviously. Tatastham na edo ipo irukku appuram illa nu artham kedaiyadhu. It can be always there, but it is not intrinsic. It is adorned. Anala Bhushananu Tatastham, they said. And now Swarupam enna? Mayi, our Kapila Vasudeva Bhagavan is saying, Mayi, to me they are all. Ipo avar thanna sadhuva sollala. Bhagavana pesara. Mayi ananyena bhavena bhaktim kurvanti ye dridam matkrute tyakta karmanaha tyakta svajana bandhavaha. Swarupa enna? Mayi ananyena bhavena bhaktim kurvanti ye dridam. That is the Swarupa of sadhu. That we can't see. Because they don't show. Na? When somebody is coming, odane archana, appadila illiye. Adala sadhuve kedaiyadhu appadi irundha. They constantly are doing bhava bhakti in their heart, which nobody can even understand. Best we can understand is the other adornments. At times tears of joy, at times horripilation. Idallam Bhushanam dane. And at times choking of throat. Idallam Bhushana for a sadhu, which we can see. Bhava in their heart, how can we see? If we have prema bhava, only then we can recognize the heart of another person. In Tamil, there is a saying, Pambariyam Pambina Kal. Kalnale, how does a snake travel? So only a snake will understand how a snake travels without a feet. Likewise, only a prema bhakta can understand another prema bhakta. What we can see is the adornments, the Bhushanam, which is more visible. than their state of being. And the Bhushanam is very simple. Titikshava, forbearing, accepting. Yeah. Karunikaha, extremely compassionate towards people who are needy, who are suffering. It flows to them. You see, compassion, oh, they are suffering, so no, it is naturally flowing to them. And Sugruta, friendly, Sarva Dehinam Ajata Shatravaha. The first thing is Ajata Shatravaha for a Mahatma. Bhagavan says in Bhagavad Gita, he gives a list of 34 qualities of a Bhakta. In that, the first quality of the Bhakta whom I love the most, Yome Bhakta Same Priyaha, is Adveshta Sarva Bhutanam Maitra Karuna Yeva. Bhagavan Matiye Pesamata. The real adornment of a sadhu is not his powers, it's not Anugrah. Real adornment of a sadhu is Adveshta Sarva Bhutanam Ajata Shatravaha. Adveshta Sarva Bhutanam Maitraha Surdaha Karunaha Karunikaha Maitra Karuna Evacha Nirmamo Nirahankaraha Samadukka Sukha Kshami Tidikshavaha Nirmamo Nirahankaraha Shantaha. Bhagavan has a pattern. You see, whenever he says Bhaktana Gadagadan, idhe list Mati Solvan. Then Bhagavan undo repeat Pandram Tonido. No, the Pakamudu Pusa Kono, it's nothing new. And why na the moment Bhagavan Bhakti na Takana, Bhagavan closes his eyes. Prahlada Narada Parashara Pundari Kana Pona Odane, Bhagavan gets into that Bhakti Bhava, Apavaklen the Vardalan Titikshava. Now, Bhagavan is the Hridayam of Sadhu, Sadhu is the Hridayam of Bhagavan. Na? So, to understand what sadhus are, only Bhagavan can tell. Now, who else can tell? Only Hari can tell about Haridasas. So, here Kapila Vasudeva Swami immediately closed his eyes, remembered Prahlada, Narada, Parashara, Pundalika, Vyasa, Ambarisha, Sukha, Shaunaka, Bhishma, Dalpyan, Rukmanga, Arjuna, Vasishta, Vibhishanadin, Punyani, Man, Parama, Bhagavadan, Smarami, the Solli Aram Chirkano, Bhagavadalapati, Pesambuda, Valasmarika. So, Titikshavah, Karunikaha, whatever he says in Bhagavad Gita is what Kapila Gita is also. And that is what is their Bhushanam. What is their Swarupam? Maya Veshyamano Yemam Nitya Yukta Upasate Mayi Ananyena Bhavena Bhakti Kurvanti Ye Dridam Nitya Yukta na Dridam. In fact, Bhashyam for Nitya Yukta Bhagavatlin Dridam. Finish. He's saying, Mayi Ananya Bhaven. Ananya Bhavam na nartham. What does Ananya Bhavam means? Na Anyam is Ananyam. Na. So these sadhus will hold on to the path of bhakti alone and not resort to any other auxiliaries in other paths. Bhakti na bhakti. Suddha bhakti. Ananya sadhana rahitam Ananya bhakti. Ananya purushartha rahitam. For them, Ananya Bhavena na. I want Krishna and Krishna alone. I don't want Kamayena Gam Samrajya Siddhim Kamayena Gam Parameshtya Praptim Kamayena Gam Kaivalya Muktyam Kamaye Tavayeva Charanam Jabhaktim Tava Charanam Bhuja Chaya Yamama Dayaya Vasam Dekhi Shri Rama. This is what is their bhava. Uneru selvathu udan piravi yawn vendhen. Tindaruna Alvar. Ananya Bhakti means not having any other goal, any other purushartha except prema, not even moksha. He's going to tell that now. The Mayi Ananyena Bhavena is the explanation we are going to get when Devahuti Mata is asking some question. So Kapila Vasudeva Swami's these slokas it encompasses all the remaining chapters actually. Audos, Raga, the words. Bhagavan, no, perfect words. And the explanation of all these words are the next chapters. Ananyena Bhavena means holding on to only Bhakti Sadhana or Bhakti practices. which is Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnoho, Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanive. That's what they will do all the time. And when we go there, only then we'll get faith in that path. Na? In other subjects, if it's a Laukika subject, it doesn't matter what teacher does. The teacher may love sports and teach history. Doesn't matter. I will just learn knowledge from them. And doesn't matter what the character of the teacher is, because it is only a secular knowledge. But Adhyatmika knowledge, Shabde Parecha Nishnatam. Not only should they be a master of the subject, they should live, be that subject. Na. Only then we will, because these are all adrishtam for us. Krishna Lanaba Pakliye. So when a Mahatma has seen and realized to Bhagavan what he is and what he speaks has to be in line. Otherwise, normal people like us, they need not be like that. There is no compulsion for a Mahatma to be anything at all. But for us, it will create doubt. Namakku bhakti in solta avaru veradho pannirukkaare nu doubt varakoodadhu. Parat, because Mahatmas won't be like that. Adha mayi ananyena bhave. They completely na anya sadhana. Ananyena bhave. Na anya lakshyam. Nothing apart from Krishna bhakti. Adu ananyena bhave. And understanding that anyata, there is nothing at all. Krishna tavara vera illave illa. Ananya bhavena means Vasudeva sarvamiti. That it is Bhagavan who is ever pervading. There is nothing anyam at all. But here, bhaktim kurvanti nu sonnadanaala, because it is said they practice unflinching devotion towards me. Here, ananya bhava means only two things. First, only bhakti sadhana. They will either be always yat shunvanti, gayanti, grananti, yat sadhavaha. They'll be either singing the praises of the Lord, or they'll be worshipping the Lord with their heart. Adu chintanandana. Or they'll be telling stories about the Lord, or they'll be listening to the stories about the Lord. That's what they will always be doing. Inga kurvanti means ananya. You can't take it as other things. Lakshyam and sadhanam ananyatvam, which is they do only bhakti, and they do only bhakti for bhakti, and they do only bhakti for their chosen Bhagavan, which is Bhagavan Vasudeva. So this is the Swarupa. Mayi ananyena bhavena bhaktim kurvanti ye dridam. Dridam, nothing will shake them. Ahituki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. We must have done Parayana in the second chapter. The Swarupa of the Bhakti is the Swarupa of a Bhakta. So Swarupa of the Bhakti is Ahituki. Ahituki na mayi ananyena bhavena bhakti kurvanti. And apratihatana dridha. Apratihatana, that which does not obstruct the bhakti in any way. No distraction, no obstruction. Whatever happens in their life is a parallel line for them. They see it as Krishna Leela. Grihitvapi indriya nartha na sochati na kankshati. And they see everything as Vishnur mayam idam pashyan. They will say, Allah, Vishnu Leela. They won't stop their bhakti because they understand this is the means, this is the end. When we get confused about means and end, only dridam goes. When the end is clear, my heart has to be filled with prema is the end. My other roles I play in this society, in this family, in my life are only means for me to enhance love. We are clear. Then how will this be confused? And once the purpose is clear, once the means and ends are clear, dridham. And in fact, you are talking about this Janma, na? Yeah. We are talking about this Janma dridham. Na? Our Swamiji has written a song where he says, Epirabi vaital yenne kavalai na pinnai na den punai irike. When Krishna is with me, why do I care what Janma I may get in future? அந்த அளவுக்கு அனன்ய பாவேன திருடாம் பக்தி ஆயித்துக்கி அப்ரத்யதா. This is the Swarupa of a Bhakta. Mat krite tyakta karmanaha tyakta swajana bandhavaha. Why? For Krishna, they were ready to leave everything. Why? Because of the clarity in the means and the end. Mata is a means for Krishna Bhakti. Pita is a means for Krishna Bhakti. Our spouse is a means for Krishna Bhakti. Our children are the means for Krishna Bhakti. Our livelihood is a means for Krishna Bhakti. If it does not support me in the end of Krishna Bhakti, Janani na sasyat, Pita na sasyat, Swajano na sasyat, Gurur na sasyat. Somebody who taught me, this Mahatma won't tell these Mahatmas, but there may be somebody who taught you something and said, சும்மா பக்தின்னு சொல்றேன், நீ ரொம்ப எல்லாம் சீரியஸா எல்லாம் போயிடாதானா, அப்படியே குடுமுழுக்கிட்டு போயிட்டே இருங்கோ அவர்கிட்ட. ஏன்னா Guru is supposed to help you in the path towards Krishna Bhakti. You see? And so here our Bhagavan says, Mat krite tyakta karmanaha. For Krishna they will do anything because that is the end. For Krishna Priti they will do anything. Because what it means, it doesn't mean all of us should drop our karma or swajana, etc. It means that is their swarupam. That is their clarity. Dridam na anartham. This is expansion for the word dridam. Because clarity between what is the means, sadhanam enna, what is the sadhyam. And everything which comes to me, edrichaya by Krishna Kripa, is all sadhan for me to attain bhakti. If something positive happens, I go and cry to Krishna and said, you have done something, you have given me prosperity out of your Kripa, I shall be ever grateful like Kuchela. Vantan sonnara. Our Bhagavan bestowed Kuchela with affluence. Immediately started crying out of gratitude. To cry, adukku or chance venu avarku. So, unakkagave azhakudiya pirai venumne oru paattu. You see. Then he cries in Krishna, Kripalu, you didn't want to even give me the riches openly, and you gave it to me hidden. You gave it to me subtly. Even that amount of permai, that amount of honor of even seeing my look of gratitude, you don't want to see. You see. And when there is adversity, it's a good chance for us to hold on to Krishna's feet, because nothing can take us closer to the feet of Bhagavan than adversity if we are in this bhagyam called satsangam. That's Kunti Devi's life is satsangam. Their gossip is Bhagavatam. Their day-to-day Kudumba affairs are Mahabharatam. So she could not escape satsanga. If Arjuna comes, he'll talk about Krishna. If Dharmaputra comes, he'll talk about Dharma. If Bhima comes, he will talk about the greatness of Bhagavan. If Nakula and Sahadeva come, they will talk about Jnana Bhakti Vairagya. Satsangam. And so she had tremendous strength to say, Vipadas Santunas Saswad, Tatra Tatra Jagat Guru, Bhavato Darshanam Yasyata Punarbhava Darshanam. So Dridam na, whether it is prosperity or adversity, that doesn't matter. Both are used to get close to Bhagavan. And real prosperity is Krishna Chintanam, and real adversity is Krishna Vismaran, or Krishna forgetting Bhagavan Sri Krishna. That is the beauty of Mayi Ananyena Bhavena Bhaktim Kurvanti Ye Dhridam. Who are those people? Their Swarupam. If you take all the Avaranam off, then you see what their heart is. That's Swarupam. Mat Krite Tyakta Karman. They are willing to give up anything for me. If they are willing to give everything for me, how can I give them up? You see. Why are you surprised that I'm totally beholden? I'm totally under their sway, under their control. How can you be surprised? Because when they are doing so much, when they are doing so much, will I not reflect that? I will do anything for my sadhus. That's the greatness. Mada Shraya Kadam Rishtagha Shunvanti Katayanti Cha Tapanti Vividas Tapaha Anaitan Madgata Chetasaga. He's saying they listen to and they narrate. Mad Ashrayaha. Any stories related to him. What it means is Bhagavad Katha, Bhagavata Katha. Both are Mad Ashrayaha. Mad Katha na solala. Mad Katha na Krishna Katha. Mad Ashraya Katha na Uddhava Katha, Gopis Katha, our recent Ashtadasas Katha, our all these Vallabhacharya Sampradayathila irukkakoodiya Mahangaludiya Katha, all Bhakta Vijayam and Krishna Katha together constitutes Mad Ashrayaha Katha. What it means is Bhagavatam. See, Bhagavatam not only talks about Bhagavad Katha, in fact, it talks more about Bhagavata Katha. Ramayanam does not just talk about Ramachandra Prabhu's Katha. In fact, it talks more about Bhagavata Katha. That's why Bhagavan himself says, Bharatasya Katham Kuru, Sitayas Charitam Mahat, and the great sacrifice of Lakshmana Bhagavan, the great seva of Shatrughna, the great love of the mother, the great love of Guha, the great love of Shabaripati, the great friendship of Sugriva, the greater friendship of Ramachandra Prabhu's friendship towards Sugriva, the great surrender of Vibhishana, Bhagavata Katha. So, Mad Ashrayaha Katha means any story which has me as the center. It need not be my story. Mad Ashrayaha Katha Mrishtaha. Mrishtana, sweet, enjoyable. And our Dhruva is saying, Tava Katamruta Pana Mattaha. Our Dhruva is saying, let me get the satsanga of Mahatmas where I get intoxicated with the sweet stories of your Katha, of your doings, of Bhagavata Katha, of Bhagavad Katha. So, Mrishtaha Shrunvanti Katayanti cha. They listen and they also tell these kathas. Tapanti. No, Tapanti na tormented. Tapanti na afflicted. You see. So, generally we are afflicted with the world. Na? Here, the torments are tormented. Tapanti Vivida Tapaha. That's Kaliyayum Baliyum. Tapanti Vivida Tapaha. Naitan Mat Gata Chetasaha. Why? Because they are completely, their mind is completely drowned in Krishna Rasa, Krishna Katha, Vishta, sweetness of Krishna Katha. What happens is, the Tapa Varda, as a Tapa Varda, Pinadilan Kavala Podivi and Kavala Padata. The Kavala, that worries are now worried. This chap is going to Satsang now. Now I don't think he's going to be worried about worries at all. And slowly they will also say, and it will go and catch on to the relatives of the person going to Satsanga. So the worry is Tapanti Vivida Tapaha. This Tapa goes and catches on to people who are worried about a person whom they should be worried about them. They would be, what will happen to him? They will worry. Somewhere worry has to go on. Law of conservation of universal worry. Tapanti vividastapa naitan madgata chetasakha. Beautifully, all these tapas are all taken off from our heart and burnt. One of our satsang Bhagavata sent me a nice Alvar pass. I am reminded of it now. வாழாளறுத்து சுடினும் மருத்துவன்பால் மாளாத காதல் நோயாளன் போல் மாயத்தால் மீளா துயர்த்தரினும் வித்துவ கோட்டம் மாணி ஆளா உணதருள் பார்ப்ப நடியேனே. இதே பாட்டுதான் ஊனேரி செல்வத்து காமியை நாகம் பாடின அதே ஆழ்வார் from Kerala, Kulasekara Alvar. He is saying, even if somebody cuts my skin, takes the flesh off, and then burns it, I become very grateful to that person. Why? That person is my doctor, surgeon. He told me there is a big growth out here. It is life-threatening. You need to operate it off. And then I told doctor, is there any other way? You have to operate. Please do it. Protect me. And the doctor finishes the operation. What is he doing? He is cutting. Sudinum, taking off a portion of my body, a precious body. Portion. He is stitching. He is giving laser treatment. Sudinum. And then the doctor comes, operation successful. What is he saying? I cut you. I burnt you. I took the flesh off. Violence. Doctor, I shall never forget the kripa you did over me by taking care of me. Little unnecessary flesh which would actually threaten my very life. And the madri, Meela Tuyartarino. He's saying Bhaktim Dridam Gartaka Solra. Drida Bhakti means understanding Krishna will never do anything which makes me distract or which makes me obstructed in my purpose of life, which is Krishna. You see? So whatever, even if he gives me troubles, tribulations, it is for my good. He's doing, my love towards him becomes even more. All I will see only your kripa, your kripa, your kripa. Not even, why some reason has to be there for Bhagavan to do that? Why should I think? Only for my kripa. Believe in the passive paranoia. When you think everybody is plotting against me, the opposite of it is everybody is plotting my success. You see? And Bhagavan, Mahatmas will always plot, conspire for our success only. So here, even if the normal worldly deranged logic tells me this is not good for you, this is good for you, I am not from the world. So I would always see everything as your kripa only. And when the operation happens, there has to be an anesthesia. What is that anesthesia? Mada ashrayaha kata mrishtaha shrunvanti katayanti cha. The sudinim dan tapanti liya. Tapannale sudardun artham. Tapati abhina heat artham. So when Bhagavan is doing the operation and burning off all our cancer, like you have body cancer, mind cancer is ahakaram, mahankaram. And that Bhagavan is burning that cancer inside. But during that time, we should not feel the heat. So araga sweet or intoxication. Tava katamrita pana rasa magna. While I am enjoying Krishna, quite a operation happening. You see. Adinala tapanti vividas tapa neitan madgata chetasaha. When the mind is intoxicated with Krishna Katha, quietly tapanti vividas tapa. And vada laruthu sudram. Yadana tapata. Namblalla. He is taking off all our tapam. He is cleansing us. And while he is cleansing, we should not feel the heat. Other yoga, no intoxication. You have to do the hard way. You have to undergo the pain. You have to undergo the heat of yoga, everything. But for bhakti, Bhagavan, tava katamrita pana mattaha. I drink that madashraya kata mrishtana pana mattaha. When we drink that Bhagavad Katha, and then we are in the intoxicated state. We are in that state of constant chetasaha. You see, madgata chetasaha. Bhagavan quietly finish off whatever needs to be done, whatever karma needs to be burnt, whatever cancerous cells of our mind. And suddenly we finish Saptaham, everything is perfect. Then, Krishna, Vada, Unadarul, Parpanadiyene. This is what is the beauty of what our Kapila Bhagavan is, the words in Bhagavatam, Amrita. Tayete sadavaha sadvi sarva sangha vivarjitaga sangaste shuatate pratyaha sangha dosha harakhite. Such is the great woman Sadhvi in Kuprarama. Hey, Sadhvi. Such is the greatness of all these Mahatmas that they themselves are completely detached to everything because they are totally attached to me. Instead of being attached to Swat, they are attached to Swami. So if you also want my attachment, so that you can get rid of your attachment of the world, so that we can get rid of all these impact of joy and sorrow, so that we can get to that Ananda, Prema, etc., our Swamiji says, that sarva sangha vivarjitaha sadhoho, go and take refuge under them. And what happens? Sangasteshu atate prarthyaha sangha dosha harakite. They completely counteract the very harmful effects of attachment. Easiest way to get rid of the worldly attachment is don't cut the attachment, direct the attachment to sadhus. Which sadhus? Madashraya kada. Adamba careful. Here, the sadhu sangam does not mean other sadhanas. Ananya, bhavena bhakti. Adha sadhu sangam. You can call anything as sadhu sangam na. But here, sadhu sangam means bhakti, bhagavata, dharma sadhu. I'm not trying to force it here. They didn't say sadhus who do yoga, sadhus who do other things. Here, the exact thing which Bhagavan says, that if you go to sadhu sangha, I'm very happy. Which sadhu sangha? Madashraya katam rishtaha shrunvanti katayanti. Where there is Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnoho, Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmani, Vedanam. That Sangam you go, that is what is sadhu sangha. That's why Mirabai says, Yogi aya, Yog karan ko, Tap karne sanyasi, Hari bhajan ko, Sadhu na Hari bhajan ko, Bhajan nale, Madashraya katam rishta shrunvanti katayanti cha is bhajana. Hari bhajan ko, evla careful, even Mirabai is putting na. Sadhu aya. What is it? Madashrayangardhanala Brindavan ki vasi. Anybody who's a Krishna Ashrayi is a Brindavana vasina. Why? Because if their heart has become a Krishna's dwelling place, adana Brindavana. Our Swamiji also sings na Brindavana me unmana me. The moment you go to a Mahatma Sangam and somehow due to the association with the Mahatma, everything will be associated with Krishna, and Krishna will start playing inside. And our mind itself will become attached to Krishna. And where Krishna is, that place is Vrindavanam. Na? And now Krishna is constantly in my mind, so the mind becomes Vrindavan. Vrindavanam me, unmana me. Your mind is Vrindavan. And the mind illama enga ponalum adu seripadadu. Why it is Vrindavanam? What does Bhagavan do in Vrindavanam? Gita Upadesama Panuva. Leelaigal nadandidum dinam diname. Constantly Krishna will do Leela, which means everything which happens around will also be seen as Krishna Leela, because you are seeing through the eyes of Vrindavana. Leelaigal nadandidum dinam diname. And then the Leelas will also increase. Guruvin naruldal valardidume. And what happens finally? The mind will abide in Krishna. That is the final state. Orunal avanidam ondridum. Avanidam na enna artham? Guruvidam ondridum na artham. Krishnidam ondridum na artham. Both are final swarupata rendu onnu thane. So orunal avanidam ondridume. So here ta ete sadavah sadvi sarva sanga vivarjitaga. Sarva Sangha Vivarjitaga. What is the Sadhu Sangam? Na? Sarva Sangha attachment to all Sangha. Sarva Sangha Vivarjitaga Sajjana Sangham. Abdingarthukku da Bhashyam our Madhura Geeta. Agacha agacha Sajjana Sangham. Agacha magacha Durjana Sangham. Agacha agacha Sujjana Sangham. Sajjana Sangam Ramasaram Durjana Sangam Sajjana Sangam Paramasaram Durjana Sangam Adhikoram. Here Kapila Vasudeva Bhagavan is saying Sarva Sangha Vivarjitaha. What are the Vivarjitaha? What were eschewed by such sadhus is Durjana Sangam Atigoram. So the Durjana Sangam's list is there, and that has to be eschewed totally. And Sajjana Sangam's list is what needs to be embraced totally.
Dharma Chintano
Durjana Sange. So Sajjana Sangam na Dharma Chintana. Dharmam na that which pleases Bhagavan is Dharma. So wherever we have the Sajjana Sangam, the Chintanam will be Dharma Chintanam. Dharma Chintanam na that which pleases Krishna. Every Dharma is Krishna Pritiyartham. So, but in Durjana Sangam, Durbodhanam. Again and again something we do with the world. So Sarva Sangha Vivarjitana in Sajjana Sangam, Durbodhanam will be totally absent. Sarva Sangha Vivarjitana. Sajjana Sanghe
Hari Sevanam Durjana Sanghe Parihasanam.
Where there is Hari Sevanam. Sevanam nale ennartham na? Using all our sense organs, all our capabilities, all our resources in the service, devotional service of Bhagavan na Sevanam. Kanla Sevanam. मत कर मोह तू हरि भजन को मान रे, नैन दिए दर्शन करने को, श्रवण दिए सुन गान रे, हाथ दिए कर दान के को, and finally वदन दिए गान रे, कहत कबीर सुनो भाई साधो, कंचन लिपजत कान रे. Eyes are there. Hari Sevanam na. Hari eyes are there for us to do darshanam. Ada Hari Sevanam. Ears are there for Hari Kirtanam. Sevanam. Vak Mukh is there for Hari Bhajanam. Sevanam. And hands are there for giving. Sevanam. So idallam pannona, that Hari which is in you, that Vrindavan which is your mind, will become Vrindavanam and Haristhanam. Adha Kanchana Lipujat Kan. It is there. Treasure is right within you. Take it. So Sarva Sangha Vivarjitaha. What Sangam is? Parihasanam. Summa Kekadaken. Making fun of others, making fun of other paths, making fun of other people. Parihasanam irukudela. Serious bhaktalukku parihasanam is it is called the vibachari bhavam. It is actually the opposite bhavam for prema is parihasanam. Anala seriousness in bhakti is hindered when there is parihasanam. So sarva sangha vivarjitahana parihasanam, where you do helanam, where you think you are bigger and somebody is smaller and making fun, etc.
Sajjana sange anandam, durjana sange alasyam.
Alasyam means stupor. Halasya means little bit of inertia, somberitanam. Sajjana sangam anandam. There is enthusiasm, there is joy in sajjana sangam. And that sangha, that attachment we need to completely eschew is halasyam. Halasyam na rendu problem. As I told you, Priyavachan play Vyakyan. There are two karna pisas which keeps empowering halasyam. One says, let us take care of it tomorrow. Another one says, when we are doing something very good, when we are doing something divine, enough. That enough of good things and let's take care of it tomorrow is halasya. So that is the sangha which we need to eschew. That is the sangha a Mahatma would have already eschewed. Yes.
Sajjana sange mana shanti, durjana sange mana bhranti.
Sajjana sange mana shanti. It is said na shantaha, sadavaha, sadhu bhushanaha. Sajjana sangana mana shanti. Where there is clarity, there is shanti. I am very clear what I want to. I am very clear what I need to achieve. So I am not much impelled by all these influences outside. Ashanti nale influence. And Durjana Sange Mana Bhranti na influencers. And Bhranti means confusion. Bhranti means misplaced faith, etc. On the Sangalna Sarva Sangha Vivarjita.
Sajjana sange pramodaha, durjana sange pramadaha.
Pramada means confusion. Shall I do this? Shall I do that? Do I need to attain this? Do I need to attain that? And when somebody says something, immediately getting swayed, all that is pramadaha. But in Satsanga of a Mahatma, right from day one to the day when we are going to see Krishna, the path won't be changed. The goal won't be changed. The path would only be more and more explained and strengthened. And the goal would only be made more and more valuable and sweet for us to attain. And so, pramodaha. Pramodaha has a very deeper meaning, which our Swamiji said. Modaha means when you love something, thinking about the object which you love is modam. When you actually come to see the object which you love, it is pramodam. When you start experiencing that object of love, it is called anandam. The moon varta comes in Taitra Upanishad. Pramoda uttara modottara pakshaha, pramoda dakshina pakshaha, anandatmanu. I'm not exactly sure about the mantra. And so modam, pramodam, atma, which is anandam. Anandam na anubhavam. So pramodaha, means slowly we will start seeing Bhagavan. And Anandam will come when we start experiencing Krishnanubhavam. So in Satsanga, we'll get all this. Yes.
Sajjana Sange Krishna Katha, Durjana Sange Gramya Katha.
In the Sajjana Sangha, what happens is, Mayi Ananyena Bhavena Bhakti Madashraya Katham Rishta. So in Sajjana Sangam, constantly the only stories being heard and told will be about Krishna. What is Gramya Katha? Not about village story. Gramya Katha means any Katha which is not Madashraya Katha nale Gramya Katha. That can be my Katha, your Katha, world Katha, any Katha. If it is anything apart from Krishna, it is called Gramya Katha. So Sarva Sangha Vivarjitaha includes no thoughts, no stories, no descriptions about things apart from Bhagavan or apart from things related to Bhagavan. Yeah, adudha Gramya Katha. Last week.
Sajjana Sange Sadhu Poshanam, Durjana Sange Sadhu Dushanam.
Sajjana Sange Muralidhara, Durjana Sange Mahisharudaha. Finally, where we attain Satsana Sangam Muralidhara, Bhagavan Sri Krishna Charanam we will attain. Muralidhara na Krishna. By Sajjana Sangha, our goal, Sadhyam Krishnan. Durjana Sangam. Whatever name the Durjana Sangam may have, if it is Durjana Sangam, Gramya Katana Mahisharudaha, the one who has the buffalo as his Vahana, Yamadharma Rajana. So if we are in Durjana Sangam, where we land up is Yamaloka. If you are in Sajjana Sangam, no doubt we will land with at the feet of Charanantikam. Bhagavan says, you will land very close to my feet, which is Bhagavan Sri Krishna Charanam. This is the beauty of the sadhus and sadhu sangha. 4 slokas, Amrita. There are 18 commentaries to Bhagavatam. Apart from that, we have our Madhura Gita commentary of Bhagavatam. We have our Madhura Vachana commentary of Bhagavatam. We have the Madhura Pravachana commentary of Vachanam na casual speak, Pravachanam na proper Pravachanam. And then there are songs. So this is the core principle of Sankhya Yoga, where our Kapila Bhagavan says, there somehow get associated, get attached to Mahatmas. Mahatmas who are always forbearing, Mahatmas who are always compassionate, Mahatmas who are always friendly to all beings, Mahatmas who are inimical to none, Mahatmas who are the very epitome of deep peace, and Mahatmas who are always engaged only in Krishna Bhajana. And they are willing to forsake everything else for Krishna. Namari in 1 in million Mahatmas, Acharya Purushas, hold on to their feet. That is the beauty of these 4 slokas. If Krishna wills, we will continue Kapila Upakhyan. Sarvatra Govinda Nama Sankirtanam. Sadgurunath Maharaj Ki. We will conclude with that sloka which our Bhagavan Sri Krishna has graciously blessed our Uddhava Swami with. Na rodayati mam yogo, na sankyam dharma evacha, na svadhyayastapastyago, neshta purtam na dakshina, vratani yajna chandamsi, tirtani niyama yamagha, yatha varunde satsangaha, sarva sangapaho himam. In that Bhagavan says, na rodayati means that which attracts him. Vashi kurvanti mam bhaktaha. And Bhagavan says nothing attracts him so much like satsanga. And both rodayati and avarunde both means the same thing of being attracted. So Bhagavan helplessly, if we can use that term, gets attracted to such devotees who have taken refuge under a satsanga of a Mahatma, Satpurusha. Sadguru Maharaj Ki Jai.